Wow, summer 2018 was definitely the best summer I've ever had, and had some amazing memories that'll last forever. I was able to learn so much and make some friendships that'll last a lifetime all at the same time. This past summer, I was the baseball operations intern for the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders. They are part of the Northwoods League, which is a collegiate summer league for some of the top college talent. So it was me, 9 other interns, and 3 full-time staff that basically ran the operations for the team, and it was pretty awesome. I remember the first day walking in, and I was so nervous to meet the people that I'll be basically spending my whole summer with. On the first day, half the interns were there, and after meeting them, I had a pretty good feeling it was going to be a great summer. After we introduced ourselves, it was time to get to work to make the stadium look like a baseball stadium in time for the home opener. The other interns were Blake, Luke, Paxton, Kyle, Cam, Parker, Miranda, Jenny, and Danielle, and I did not have any selfies with the girls because they barely hung out with us outside of the stadium. Right away, I got to work with Blake and Luke hanging up things like wind nets around the stadium and random signs. We did that for the first couple days along with doing some work on the field, and I got to do some specific things for my job, which was baseball operations. I was responsible for things that the players needed, and the main one was laundry once the game started to be played every day. On game days, I was responsible for doing the laundry in the morning, and then picking up the players' food from local restaurants, assisting the umpires when they arrived, taking pictures of fans pregame, playing music and sound effects during the game, and then cleaning up the stadium afterwards. As you can imagine, they were some pretty long days, starting usually at 9 in the morning that day and not getting over until at least 10 p.m. That is another main reason why I was nervous to meet the other interns, because I knew I was going to be spending a lot of time with them. I got super lucky though, as we all got along really well, and the game day staff employees were also really cool. We hosted 37 home games throughout the summer, so there's a lot of time spent at the stadium. I was able to interact with the players a decent amount, and I got to know the players, which was really nice. The Dock Spiders had many cool players too. Both the players and my other intern friends always called the player my brother because we looked alike. The coaches were always nice and easy to interact with as well, which was always fun. The home opener is something that will always stick out in my mind because no one knew how everything was going to go, and we were all nervous but excited at the same time. Everything went smoothly though, and the games only got easier from then on. Game days were always something I really looked forward to because the days went nice and fast, and they were very exciting because we got to work while watching a baseball game. Watching the fans have a good time is also something I really enjoyed because that was one of our main purposes, entertainment for the fans. The Dock Spiders were really good too in only their second season of existence, so that gave us even more to be excited about with the possibility of making the playoffs for the first time. There was a long ways to go though, with it being a 72-game season, but they got off to a good start. A couple weeks into the season, one of the interns, Kyle, made a rap about the team and called it the Dock Spider Anthem. It became the song of the summer and was played after every win and randomly throughout the day. Throughout the grind of the season, we'd always hang out outside of the stadium, even after spending all that time together in the stadium, and that's when the best memories happened. There was a local bar in Fond du Lac called Slim and Chubby's, and that was where we usually went out in Fond du Lac. It was a 3-story bar and just a pretty interesting but fun place to go. And Blake and Luke had a house about a 15-minute walk away, so walks back were always interesting. On our way back to the house, we would either stop at Taco John's or Quick Trip and get some good late-night snacks as we were drunk. Those are always some fun memories. The worst part of the summer came in the middle of July, a week before the All-Star break, and there was a terrible storm in Fond du Lac. Lightning struck the stadium and caused all kinds of problems. The away dugout was flooded, lights were out, scoreboard had something wrong with it, the speakers were out, and the laptop with all the music I used was destroyed. That made for a very long next couple days with having to try to get everything back to normal and trying to get all the music back on my new computer. It was a struggle, but we overcame that and everything slowly got back to normal. Then it was All-Star break time in Kalamazoo, Michigan. 9 of us made the trip to Kalamazoo, and that may have been the best decision ever. The All-Star break was just simply amazing and possibly the best 3 days of the summer, with some drinking and a lot of good times at places like a stock exchange bar. I don't remember what happened for most of it, but it was a lot of fun and some of the best memories ever. The ride home was a long and tiring one, but it was so worth it. After the All-Star break, there was about 3 weeks left of the regular season, and the Spiders were looking good to make the playoffs. Then they started to struggle a little bit, and the big lead was starting to slip away. We were all getting kind of nervous because making the playoffs would be such an amazing feeling. Then, during the last week, things were looking good again, and they clinched the playoff spot with a couple days left of the season. Then playoff week was probably the longest, most crazy week ever, but it was amazing. There were 2 elimination games that the Spiders had to win to make it to the best of 3 World Series, and the first game was at perennial powerhouse, the Madison Mallards. The Mallards are always good and dominated the season series. However, that did not matter as the Spiders crushed them and won 17-5. That meant the Spiders were on to the next game, and that was all the way in Kalamazoo, Michigan. That also means they had to leave early in the morning, so I had to stay up till about 4:30 in the morning to do the laundry and get it all ready for them to leave early for the game. And then at noon, 5 of us decided to take the drive to Kalamazoo to watch our team 1 win away from the World Series. And the Spiders won a close game and they were off to the World Series. Game 1 was the next day in Fond du Lac, so we had to drive back that night and wake up the next day by 9 to host the World Series game against the Duluth Huskies. Spiders then went on to win that as well, so that meant they had to go to Duluth and win 1 more game to be named champions. And most of the front office obviously had to take the 5.5-hour drive to watch it. It was a pretty sad game too, as they finally lost the game in the playoffs, and it all come down to Game 3. We had a fun time that night in our hotel, and then the next day we went to a casino and just wasted time until it was game time. Then it was a very exciting game, and it all came down to the 9th inning. The Spiders were up by 1 run, and the MVP of the league is up to bat with a man on. And he pops it up, and the Spiders are champions. It was one of the best feelings ever to be celebrating on the field with the players and holding the trophy. The ride home sucked, but it was totally alright because the Spiders are champions. Summer 18 was definitely one that I'll never forget. I got to learn so much about the sports industry and hopefully turn that into a full-time job and be my eventual career in the sports world. Also, I made friends for life with countless memories. Go Spideys.